Leeds.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. Sorry I'm late, it's totally my fault, but yeah, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for your latest episode of Late Night Leeds. Totally my fault on every behalf this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Friday night and then being late tonight. Totally on me. But yeah, welcome back, like I say, at Late Night Leeds. Adam, Sean, how are you doing, fellas?
We're all good.
Very good.
Been a good past few weeks, hasn't it? And then obviously game yesterday brought us back down to earth a little bit. But apart from that, yeah, we're doing really good. We're fine out. We had a nice meet up yesterday, didn't we?
I'm fine, yeah. Wide awake, ready to go. Yeah.
I'm never going to live it down, the fact that I messed up Friday, then I was late tonight. Just a double whammy, just total double whammy.
What's 10 minutes, 48 hours? What's all, like, it's another 10 minutes, like, no, these things happen. No, obviously these things happen, don't they?
These things do happen. Let's see, before we go on, let's see who's in the chat. Tezzy UK, hey up, mate, thank you for being here. Priestley, does Adam have his booster seat?
Well,
5'2" of him, the liar.
The liar.
I know. Don't trust Adam, mate.
Thing is, because you announced it the other day as well, and I went to my missus and I went, I think they should believe me. And she went, well, they don't know you very well. They don't know you talk absolute rubbish, do they? And I went, no, they do not.
Evening, Matty and Adam says CB, about time. Matty late, I refuse to believe it, says Priestley. And Danny Green blames the caravan. Yeah, the caravan's got a lot to blame.
Yeah.
A lot to blame. Evening, Sean. Missed you out of souls. Hey lads, says
all right,
Paul.
CB. All right.
Hello, Paul.
Hope you've all mourned yesterday. On to the next one. Yeah, it does. It does feel like a bit of a mourning, does a draw. It's a measure of a good side. I think when a draw feels like a loss, it's where we're at now. It's not ideal, but it's 17 games unbeaten. But before we go into yesterday's game, obviously we wouldn't have been talking about yesterday's game if the caravan Wi-Fi wasn't a problem on Friday. We would have been talking about the Sheffield United game. But we are where we are, but we are going to touch on the Sheffield United game. We're not going to go too far into it, but yeah, it seems like a lifetime ago now. It'll be a week tomorrow when that game happened. But back-to-back games with that and Sunderland before winning at West Brom. Late winners. The side just do not know when they're beaten. They don't know. They just don't know how to give in. The fitness is great in our side. The belief's great. And that Sheffield United, what a statement that was, just to touch on last Monday night, boys.
Oh, it's an amazing win. Like, it's funny, like, because it's a game ago now, and you get through West Brom, you feel like it's like a distant memory, isn't it? Yeah. But it's I think Sheffield United played it quite well. I think they played like very championshipy, didn't they? They came out for the first half hour. They came out, long throws. Even Robinson was taking the throws in their own half to get them far enough down the line. Just hopefully with a throw in our half. They were just higher pressure. They were pressuring even like the keepers at Melier for the first half hour as well. And that is our Achilles heel, I think, when teams play like that against us. And I think it's odd to see it against one of the better sides in the league. Usually see it from the bottom half sides, but they can see, I think QPR will play like that against us, by the way. Quite direct, quite quick, high action. And God, anytime one of our players went down, they're all over the top of them shouting at them. Anytime we did a niggly foul, Brereton Diaz did so much running, sprinting, no matter where he was on the pitch, over to the referee every time. He was such a little bitch the whole game, like just going on and on and on. It was and it's funny because he sprinted so much over to the referee, and then Firpo's goal, he didn't track him properly. Couldn't sprint with him then. He's pretty tired from running over to the referee. So I thought, well, there you go. But he's Yeah, I didn't really care about us. I don't really notice opposition players usually, but I made an exception for him in that game because he was pathetic.
He was.
But yeah, won the game. Brilliant game. On we go. Great game to win as well. Second in the league.
100%.
He did it. Melier tried his best to score a goal, and he finally did it, didn't he? He got the goal he wanted. Nervy first 20 from Melier. It was, of all the games he had to do it, it would in that game, wasn't it? But thankfully, it didn't cost us. The boys pulled the socks up after half time. Burpo getting in those positions that we does like to get into those central areas, and what a fantastic header. He could have actually scored two, couldn't he? He missed one just before then. Tanaka then that goal Tanaka scored, come on. That's great how he got that into that area, It's such a perfect goal. And then Pirro, What a strike from Pirro. The technique, the power. It's what he's capable of, isn't it? And we just had too much. The fitness shone through as well that second half for us. I actually thought Farke being up in the stanchions helped us a little bit. He could see more of what was going on. Was that something to do with the early substitutions that he could actually see them? I don't know, but it was no hindrance that he wasn't on that sideline. Just a fantastic win, wasn't it? Really was. And just a shame we couldn't capitalise it even more yesterday. But
I don't think it's any coincidence that he made the subs early and he was up in the gods. I think, as you say, he saw the whole game mapped out. And I think he's not done it before. Didn't do it Saturday. Obviously, there's reasons, the match situation, etc. But I think there's no coincidence in that. The joy in the first half was because Saki is so lazy. I don't think he wasn't willing to track Firpo. It's amazing in modern football you're not willing to track your fullback. That is so lazy. And as I said before the game, Harry Clark is such a banter player. How he keeps getting gigs at the top end of the championship, I don't know. He is terrible. He is
really is.
He's so bad. And Solomon got the ball and it just walked past him every single time. Firpo overlaps. Saki was still on the halfway line waving, having a breather, having a little rest up there. Go on, that's good for you, son. And Firpo just got through. And then, there's so much joy there. I think even at half time in that game, I felt we had so much joy, like towards the end of that first half. I thought that, we had, I thought, because sometimes those games when we're 1-0 down, you don't feel way back in. It wasn't like that in that game. I think we had so many sort of half chances to make that assist, etc. Which didn't happen, but until the second half. But we were just class. No,
100%.
I just love Wilder's face, having to admit that we are the best team in the league. He just hated saying that, didn't he? But come on,
he did. Like Richard Hogan said here, though, first 20 minutes were very poor at Bramall Lane, but we really got on top, especially once we got level. It was probably the most intense 20 minutes of season, really. That in that game, I haven't seen anybody stick it on Leeds like they did. To be fair to them,
they were up for it, weren't they? They were being chest bumping and everything before game. You know it. They were well up for it.
I think, Sean, you know that in these Yorkshire derbies, they get up for it more than we do. But I was surprised at how the football in that first 25 minutes were really high level for this division. The best I've probably seen by any side against Leeds United this season. I know it were only a small pocket of time. It literally was 25 minutes, and I feel like we got a stranglehold at game, went into half time really well. Second half were all us. But I do think that 25 minutes, I was shocked at the standard of football they were playing. And it really took us by surprise. I compared it to a boxing match, coming out in opening seconds at round and getting a bloody nose and being knocked down. And it took us a couple of rounds to get back into it and get us feel of it. And once we knew, they just took us by surprise. We had to sort of recalibrate and then go again. And once we sort of knew how to deal with them, we sort of pocketed them for the rest of the game. But those sort of wins are the ones you'll remember come the end of the season. We talk about last season, don't we? The Leicester, and there's certain moments in a season that can be, season defining. And I do think those two games back to back on the Monday nights, I think we'll look back when we promoted and we'll look at them as pivotal moments. I know it's easy to say with the caliber of the team we played, opposition who were vying for those top two spots with us. But there's something magical about scoring late goals. Some of the chemistry it makes, it helps your team. Those partnerships, those feelings, through a season, you win 3-0, 4-0, steady away. We've seen it all season, but winning like that, it does make a difference, doesn't it, Adam? Winning like that.
It does make a difference, Like it's so much you take away from it. So everyone's go, like you say, this team never gives up. This sort of stuff. Like if you're 3-0 and they score towards the end, we aren't then saying anything. Team spirit, team cohesion. Fark's got into them, all sorts of things. Absolutely, Fark subs make a big difference as well. Whatever it may be, there's loads more narratives and stories and everything written around that because you're coming back into it late. And it takes the wind out of their sails. And by the way, so the first half hour, I think was decent quality, but I think they played so direct. It was so high tempo. Like their own fans said, they are going to keep this up. They've not done it against anyone else, and they couldn't. They couldn't. They flagged. They've got too many players in their team. So they're a bit lazy, really. That actually weren't. They're never going to keep that up. I don't think Wilder subs were poor as well. Bring Harbour on. who looks
Yeah.
sometimes, when he's not on it, he looks really unfit. Obviously, he's not
He
really
does.
unfit. He can't be. But when he's not on it, suddenly, oh yeah, he's a bit overweight, because it's an easy thing to say, isn't it?
He looks it, doesn't he? It looks like he's got it, but
he's just like, bringing him on, trying to track Bogle and James. That's the most dynamic right side in the
100%.
league, or either side wing in the league by a country mile. And trying to, that was some terrible substitution for him. Good substitution from Farker, and he had a massive impact on that game, and he won it against his opposition manager as well, which is important for him. He needs to keep doing that.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. So Sam says, thoughts on yesterday, lads. One of them days for me. Go again at Pump It MOT. We will get into that, Sam. That is the next part of the show. I should bring up the prediction table now, then, shouldn't I, lads? Touch on Sheffield United.
We can. You could do the prediction table. Yeah, do the prediction table now.
Yeah, so bring that up. So sure. Yeah, obviously, we didn't do Friday, so there'll be no predictions for the West Brom game. But this table is there from the last game. So
this is the table after Sheffield United. So they should have been on the Friday night. I don't think we should do the predictions tonight either, really. I think we should do, if we're going to do a show before the next game, because I think a lot of people, it'd be quite interesting actually as an experiment, what people would predict today and what they predict Friday. Because I think we all might add a couple more goals for Leeds United between now and next Friday somehow. We'll go straight 1-0, 2-1, so it's 3-1, 4-1.
Yeah, we won't do any predictions today, Adam. We'll wait till Friday for
the
Pompey predictions. But
so the table didn't change up too much. Honestly, I've done, I messed around getting the right place, etc. Just if people play every week, they will get in the top 10 of this, and they'll keep going up. You see Sean, me, and Matty just Sean's top because he actually gets correct scores, which is this is something.
And goal scorers,
scores, but we get results and goal scorers. So just playing Danny, top banana, right one, Andy Rose second, and Sean from Wilco White, who has his own channel as well, by the way. He's top of the league. He does all his research, etc., and that's where he sits.
I want that sign. I want it. I'm after it.
I'm not sending it to you.
Just there. It'd be great.
Coming to you. If you're Matty Winnie, I'm going to burn it instead.
You can't.
That's class. Just so people know, I am starring some comments to come back to, so don't think, that's not like Matty to not read it out. I'm starring some. There's some good stuff coming through, so we will come back to some of them at the end. Richard Hogan, did West Brom play well last night? I would say they played very well. Very good away performance. Like I said, we'll get into that. But yeah, Sean at Wilco White is top at league. Nothing to see here. Move on. But yeah, we'll get into that.
You can keep that on all stream if you want.
No, it's gone.
Keep it on.
We don't know who's top anymore. No members.
It all change next week.
A bit of a random one, this guys, but hopefully this plays. This is totally random, but I just thought I'd stick this in there, right? Because I'm really, really proud. I'm a proud dad moment. So I know it's a different sport, but watch this. This happened today, my boy. This happened today. Hopefully this works. I
didn't play till I went to pay rugby league.
The aftermath, off you went.
Come on.
Nice one.
I know it's a different sport, but I had to drop that in today. Just totally random in the middle of the show. My little lad Theo. His first proper rugby game, and it was at half time at Edinburgh. He gets ball and just scores a full length. He was buzzing. But yeah,
I bet he loved that as well. I bet he absolutely loved it.
Mate, it was class. It was so good. Yeah, we're absolutely buzzing for him. But yeah, I know it's a different sport, but yeah, I knew you guys would appreciate that. Yeah, but let's get into the West Bromwich Albion game. Before we do, let's try this. But before we do, let me hand you over to Sam Sean. Stat man.
Smooth.
Very smooth. Very smooth.
Nice.
Go on then, shorty boy.
Oh, love that. Okay. So, possession for Leeds, 53%, 47% to West Brom. Shots, we had 15 shots. West Brom had 7. 6 shots. What you got there? Shots on target. Yeah. Shots on target 2. for Leeds. Only 2. That's bad, isn't it? I didn't realise it was so low. 3 for West Brom. I've got block shots 7. We had West Brom 1. We hit the woodwork once as well. Passes for us, we had 468 passes. Now, I want to touch on West Brom's passes. They had 416 passes in that game, which is a lot for an away side. It's one of the highest this season for an away side, so credit to them. Accurate passes as well. We had 85% accurate passes, 80% accurate passes for West Brom. And as you can see there, we had 10 corners to West Brom's 3, which ain't great. Defensive wise, I always like to look at the defensive stats as well. We only won 40% of his tackles, which is poor, to 67% West Brom. They also made 14 interceptions to our 7. Interesting enough, clearances, we actually had to make more clearances. We made 26 clearances to their 21, which says quite a bit about the game. Highest rating, FURPO, says it on there, 7.9. Lowest for us was 6.1, but also the West Brom keeper, Wildsmith, also had 6.1. So again, that's a tale in itself, isn't it? And that's it for the stats. Short and sweet. Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, mate. Short.
But the defensive stats for me are really interesting, and the fact we've had to make more clearances at home, something we've not really done much this season. It says a lot about our West Brom players. You know, I mean, do you want me to get into it? I mean, they did make changes to the team, bringing Bartley in. I didn't think he'd start. I thought Mason Holgate would have started. Also, dropping Tom Fellows, who's their highest assists with 11 and scoring 2 goals. They dropped him and brought Swift in, obviously experienced midfielder. Surprising, but it did work. Swift nearly scoring, didn't he? Nearly scored. That shot did literally inches past the post of Meslier. Really should have scored that, really, to be honest. We were quite lucky to get away with that. But I thought they were unlucky not to come away with a win with West Brom. They had some good chances. You know, Furlong obviously getting the goal. He had another header. I thought he should have put away, or he could at least got it on target and put it over. Again, Swift's chance. And then there were, you know, the one-on-ones. Tom Fellows, its second half, he was through. And if it hadn't been for Rodon, you know, putting his body on the line, then it could have been another goal. So on a different day, maybe they'd have come away with 3 points. So I'm happy we came away with a point. I'm not saying I'm happy how we played, but looking on the whole of it, look, we've just got through 2 difficult games in Sunderland and Sheffield United, and we've come away, you know, with the 3 points in both games. So again, if you'd told me 7 points out of these last 3 games, we'd all have took it, wouldn't we? 100%. So I'm not that downbeat about yesterday's game.
No, I think that's fair enough. I think I'm probably the right sort of tone to take. It's funny because I say that as well, but actually I'm really downbeat about it as well. I'm really like, you know, heads really like somber. Like I don't think there's been any patterns or anything.
No,
saw in that one. I think so. I will caveat everything I'm about to say. By the way, I've probably got loads down the game. I sat in the west stand level with the edge area. That we played in the first half, about 8 rows up. So I couldn't really see a lot of the patterns of the game. I've been driving back today. I've watched the highlights a bit, but I think they got the team selection right. I think they set up well. They stopped us feeding the fullbacks really, really well. They stopped us building up from the back. I thought they were very smart. Mowbray's a good coach. I don't think there's lots of blame as any part of it. So a couple of disappointing parts for me. I think there's been a couple of players have been off it for. Aaronson's been off it for 2-3 games now, and I think even Foxy they started substituting, which is different. Solomon, by the way, has not been very good for the last 3 games, particularly. There's not been a lot of end product there, I don't think, which is what he's all about for me. Class player.
I hardly noticed him. Noticed him.
No, but by the way, they did really well. They sort of doubled and trebled up on them every time they had the ball, because right near the touchline, and every time they got the ball, they were tight on him, really tight. even when you got rid of Ferp around the side, I think they shuffled back really well. They had so many people in defence, even the cutbacks. There's no lines or no lanes to cut it back into, so they defended really well. But we had enough chances to win it as well. All that said, they were very, very good. We had enough chance. If we could have easily come away for a 2-1, but they could have come away with 2-1 loss as well. It felt like that's okay. And that's why, by the way, look at the Fark subs. I was, like watching that thinking, well, Solomon's doing okay. They're doubling up on him. Ramazani on to come, and they're going to do exactly the same thing. They're going to get no joy, really. James is James. James finds those moments himself somehow, just by being direct and quick, everything else. Class footballer, sorry, fair to say quick and direct is better than that. But so you don't change him, and Farker doesn't change him anymore. The only one is Aronson, and he brought Joseph on. I mean, he could have, obviously Perosi's next 10 in line, so it's got to be Joseph. I wonder if Ramazani and Nonsko could have gone in there. I know we're back to that old argument, and he's never done it. He's not going to do it. But Ramazani is so talented. Just seeing him on the touchline, just jogging up and down the whole game, because he say for 3-4 games before he got injured, he was our best player. He looked like our best attacking threat, and he's not got a really looking since then. So there's obviously elements to this, and the patterns and everything. I don't see any patterns from previous games. I think we were really, really good against Sheffield United. But the only pattern I do say is in some performances, and they have dropped off for a few games now. So, and Fark needs to look at that, because that is what happened last season, and we have got options to change it. I'm not like, it's not as bad or as desperate as I'm sounding. Like, we better change it, or we'll start losing games. It's one game of football. And I know, Matty, you wrote a little bit of your own narrative around it. Well, it's 7 points out of those 3 games. There you go. But that's sort of just to help ourselves, and put ourselves at ease.
100%.
We've got 6 already. They go, great, now let's win that one. And we didn't. And you're right. So, we're still top. If we lost that one, we're still top. But actually, I say that, but there's not a lot of patterns to it. I'm not particularly worried. A couple of performances, I'm not particularly worried about them either. But I think if they do carry on versus Portsmouth, then we are seeing a bit more of a trend.
I agree. It's obviously 3 games. You can start to see a little bit of a pattern, but I don't think it's too much. I mean, you've got to look at the Sunderland Sheffield United one. Look at the calibre of team they were playing at this level. It's 2 really good sides. You probably should be struggling in them games. You shouldn't be blowing them teams away. So you give them benefit of doubt with that one, don't you? So you look at the West Brom as a bit of an outlier and go, right, if it happens again at Portsmouth, then I maybe believe there's a bit of a pattern. But what I'll say on Aronson, I mean, Andy said here, I think Aronson will struggle back in the Premier League. I think we all probably agree with that. But I've seen some stats for him today. In 2025, 11 games played, 11 starts, 11 games. He's only got 1 assist, no goals. It's like, over the season, when you look at his stats, it looks pretty good for Aronson. When you narrow it down now to the last couple of months, it is certainly looking. It comes in waves with Aronson.
See it on the eye test as well, mate.
100%, mate. Well, for me, the eye test on the ball all season has been pretty ropey, but his stats have sort of
when you've got
cracks
stats
for
to back
me.
it up.
I think so. But I think off the ball, I mean, that first half I thought it was brilliant off the ball. There's games where on the ball he's just not at it, and 11 games now with 1 assist in a side that's playing as well as we have been these last couple of months. You think it's not a couple of months and Leeds have been in bad form. These 11 games, Leeds are in the middle of a 17-match unbeaten run, and Aronson's only sticking up 1 assist in 11 games when we're free-flowing and we're scoring plenty of goals.
Yeah,
and like Adam touched on there perfectly, he's starting to get subbed now. So Farker's seen something in that. Are we now at a position when you think you're getting people like Ramazani getting 0 minutes now for 2 games? We're definitely back where we were, Adam, a couple of months ago. We're definitely back at that door again, asking, is Aronson going to need to come out? And I don't like talking about this because we're still in it. We still talk. We're still this. We're still that. But it's evident now that maybe that might be there again, pal.
Do you know what I'm seeing? I feel like we're seeing a little bit more as well. Is teams play through? Sheffield United did it a few times. They played through the middle of us a little bit more as well, which Aronson's usually really good at cutting that off. They've, centre backs come out, the DMs coming out. I mean, Sousa's a really good player, but then on the ball, we're not seeing him really attack him dangerous positions, particularly last few games either. It doesn't feel like, I might be completely wrong, but it feels like he's not getting into those attacking positions to even do, to even mess the cutback or the cross, or not saying mess up every time, but he's not, like against West Brom, he was completely anonymous. He didn't get any positions. Like there was one attack that hit him in the back, I think, because you just move out of the way, let the adults do it, let the good footballers take over. And he was like, "Us, it's not quite like that," but he felt a little bit like that. And I think he's if he's getting positions, making mistakes or making errors, not producing that pass, that's one thing. Not getting even in that position to slot a ball through or do a cutback. I don't know what we're doing with a 10 really. Then, of course, like Andy said there, I think he'll struggle in the Prem. I think he'll struggle in the Championship. So, like, yeah, of course he'll struggle in the Premier.
100%. I agree, 100%. I mean,
could we see Pirro going back into the 10?
maybe not to start.
If
I still think
if
he'll go.
Joseph was scoring goals, I could see. Well, like I say, he's not. I don't think he drops into a 10. He's more of a false 9. But
yeah.
Joseph was scoring goals. That's a definite option.
I agree.
Go for.
I agree. Rather than looking at the 10, Sean, in particular, if you look at the 9, I do agree with that. I think if Joseph were banging goals in, he wouldn't drop Pirro for Joseph. It probably would be Aronson then who made way.
Yeah.
But because Joseph hasn't really performed to a decent, consistent level all season, it's allowed Aronson to remain inside, hasn't it? So I actually agree with that 100%.
It don't look like he's going to
10 or not.
It don't look like he's going to try Solomon unless he really or Nonto in that 10 role, unless he really has to. If he were going to do it, I think we'd see it in the substitutions, but he don't. He just puts Pirro back in there. So it's just maybe something we could look at these next few games, because
I agree. It's always been something though, hasn't it? Whenever Leeds have played poorly or not got a result at any point this season, it's always come back to Aronson. Always. I think every time we've dropped points this season, Aronson's always not even the scapegoat. There'll be games where he hasn't been as poor as what people might make out, but it's the easy one to say, because it's very rare if we do drop points, he's been best player on pitch, and it usually is partly the reason that maybe he's not got into game. We've seen it in games that we've won as well, where him and Pirro at times haven't got into games. It's been the subs that have come off and made those impact. But Aronson, whenever we drop points, it seems to be that player who is definitely lacking in those areas. And you can't argue with the stats when he's scoring and assisting. I've had to hold my hands up and go, fair enough, he's done well here. But in the last 11 games in this run, 1 assist, you can't argue with that either. It ain't great.
It's like, someone said it in chat, Ramazani's not even getting a look in now. No. He's still got one of the highest shots per 90 in the league, even though he's not played a lot.
I think he might have the highest before Saturday. I think he might have had the highest.
He was probably one of the highest. It would like 4 or something like that. Yeah. Shots per 90. The fact he's not even getting a look at the minute, and Nonto's coming on before him as well. I don't know what's going on there, but again, I've always said it. He could be an option as a number 10 as well, Ramazani. But Parker's not seeing it.
The problem is with it, like we were discussing last week, Nonto Ramazani, that's all fine, but the battle in Fark's head is Joseph versus Aronson. That's the only battle. Bro would do one or the other. And the problem with Joseph, he comes on, he looks like he's playing in roller skates. Like, he does everything really quickly, and he's just kamikaze. It's just mental. Like, he's sprinting past him, just toe punts it against the crossbar. Just use your instant step and just pass it across the goal. Take that extra split second and just roll it to Pro, square of you. Or kick it in the goal. I don't care either. But don't just smash it against the bar in a great position. And I know he's a little bit loud there because he made a chance himself.
He did make it himself.
So there's something in that. But just calm down. Like, just because he always wants to score so much. He did it in the FA Cup. He wants to score and shoot so much he forgets to pass sometimes. Yeah. Like, it's like Farker when he made his substitution choice on a Monday for the game on Saturday. Like, he's already decided as soon as he gets the ball, he's going towards goal. James does that, but he's got really good at it. So it's very much like an early down James. He's not good enough at it still. If he simplified his game and goes, right, I think he has to simplify it to a point where it's not just, go and shoot. It's actually, okay, like, where's the pass? Just put your head up and look for a pass. Play it off you. Use yourself as a sort of back to goal striker a little bit more.
It'd be really interesting to see a run of games where Aronson didn't play or didn't start, just because, like Duncan says, he's staying in because of his press. We all know how good he is off the ball, but I also don't agree that nobody else can run forward really quick when opposition's got ball and close them down. I don't agree that he's the only one that can do that. You know, I don't. It's crazy, and people go, but he does a lot of hard work. He gets back and he defends. Yeah, but surely you could tell Ramazani or Nonto, you've got to dig in and do some defensive work, lad. I'm sure they're not going to go around and piss off. I'm not doing that, Farker. I'm pretty sure they're all capable, they're all fit, I'm sure that might not be their first thought, granted, but surely it can still be a secondary thought and they still do it. So it's something that annoys me because we haven't seen it. There's no proof to back it up that anybody else can play that role. But for me, what you'd lack maybe defensively, you'd make up for offensively. and I think it'd probably counteract each other pretty well. But I think we are at that position now. Do I think he'll get rotated? Will he drop to the bench? I don't see Aronson ever in this division starting as a sub. I think as it's working now is probably what you're going to see. It might end up just where it's always coming off, maybe on that 65, 70-minute mark, which we haven't seen. So there is a bit of progression there in Farke, using different options in that 10 or as a false 9. But I think long term, from now to the end of this season, I think it will just be same as, to be fair. And like Lee says, he runs his ass.
He does run his ass off, and when he's on it, and by the way, it's not about him being on it attacking wise. It's about Solomon being on it. It's about James being on it. It's about Firpo being on it. It's about both, because they are attacking weapons. More than Pro, they are attacking weapons, and when they're scoring and assisting. Aronson, there's no spotlight on him because his defensive work's so good. He makes the team click in a different way. 100%. But yeah, if they're suddenly not on it and they're not, the finished touches doesn't come from them, he does go back on Aronson, which probably in a way isn't very fair. But he's going to go on your bloke that's supposed to be at number 10, and he's like simplify this press thing. Like he's got so when you're 10 and you're forward, I've got 3 men smart. You've got 2 centre backs plus a DM, because Pro used to did last season when he played 10. He just stood on the DM. So just take that guy out of it, just follow him around. When we're not got a ball, it's fine. Fairly straightforward. But so what happens is though, Pro just sort of jogs around, and Aronson, and Pro's better than he used to be. Runs the right line, lanes. Aronson has to go centre back, points Pro over to the DM. You get him, then the ball goes cross, and he goes right. Pro, you go there, I'll go here. So he does a lot of directing that up there. But it's not like we're winning lots of ball up high up either. So it's like he does run a lot. But we're not pinching a lot of ball from these teams. They play out from us. It's not like teams can't play out against us. So, and I say, and ultimately as well, going back to where I started, a few teams I think it feels like they played through the middle of us a little bit lately, and I think that's really important because that's Aronson's main job, is to stop that. Yeah, and what he's actually really good at. So
that was evident in this game. Yeah, no, that was evident in this game. It felt like that first half. After we scored the goal, that second part of that first half, it felt like they had an extra body in midfield. We felt very overrun in the middle. And like you say, that's his job to drop in a little bit and help out the midfield when he needs to. And the space they had, West Brom, I will gobsmacked, to be fair. I've not seen us say we're going on about the press, we're going on about this and that. I felt like that first half, especially, we allowed them so much time at ball. There were times when they were dinking ball from defence over our midfield, getting it out to their wingers and their fullbacks, and they had so much time at ball. You'd look and there were 5 to 10 metre space before any of our players got anywhere near him. It was really bizarre. I felt like there were elements of this game where I felt like we were the away side. We were sat trying to catch him on the counter, which at Ellen Road with the players we've got, it felt very bizarre. And what I will say is they've got some very good championship players. I thought Mowat showed glimpses of what he can do with the ball. Swift, we know, is a really good player at this level. I thought Furlong at right back were great value. I think when you look at even the benches, is it Daryl DK coming on? They've got some good players at championship level. I really underestimated them. I made myself look a bit of a fool, to be fair. But what I will say is they've definitely got one of the best managers. They've got one of the best managers you could have at this level. Tony Mowbray, I think he's a really good guy. Everybody tends to like him. It's good to see him fitting well after his cancer scare recently, and he's a really, really good manager. And for an older manager, he's certainly not a dinosaur of the sport. He keeps up with the times. He plays an attractive brand of football, and I really overlook that. And you could see he sort of rejuvenated that West Brom side for me. The physical, the tough, that everything you expect a West Brom team to be, good at set pieces, everything you'd expect, but they actually can get the ball down and play as well, which for me, Tony Mowbray's brought that into them, Sean, and they were really good value, weren't they, for that point, to be fair to them.
There weren't. Just want to touch on what you said about the midfield. I mean, we all called for Tanaka and Rothwell, but did we miss Gruev? As daft as it sounds. Breaking things up in that midfield.
We missed Ampadu, pal.
Somebody Gruev or Ampadu. Yeah. As daft as it sounds, we all called for Rothwell to start, and I'm not saying he did well. He got a good rating as well. I just, they were well up for it with their midfield as well. They seemed to, like you say, overrunning us at sometimes. Maybe it's what we'd have needed. Could you then talk about maybe then playing Gruev, Tanaka, and a Rothwell in that midfield? Do you know what I mean? Against teams like that,
I do.
And then bringing Aronson out.
Sorry, Sean. What we'll agree is that Aronson's not offering anything going forward, so just pick the extra CM, pick the extra Rothwell. Yeah.
So that's other just different ways, isn't it? But fair play to West Brom. I mean, they really play well, and you know the top 6 for a reason, aren't they? They're no mugs, are they? And
They're clinging on though, Sean, aren't they? They're clinging on. I didn't realise. I didn't look at table. They're clinging on to 6 now.
Coventry's up there as well. Like Coventry are, you know, pushing, so they've got it all to play for. You know, they ain't going to come in every game, and I'm hoping they're going to take some points off other teams as well. Around us, which I think they will, because they're all. It's getting to that time of the year, and we all have to know now that you're either playing against teams pushing for playoffs or promotion, or playing to stay up. So they're going to give it their all in every single game. Now we need to, and we've said this, Matt, we need to now prove we've got the right mentality to go into us next game and show why we are the best team in the league and deserve to be promoted and deserve to win the league. Portsmouth's going to be massive, which we are obviously going to touch on. But that's it. Fair play to West Brom. I was happy to come away with a point. We've now got a good week's rest. We don't play till Sunday dinner time. No excuses come Sunday. No excuses. I'm expecting 3 points, and we need that.
Do you know what? Football, the conception of an idea of you look at Leeds United. How to stop Leeds United? We play out for Bogle loads. We mess around in the middle, Tanaka, centre backs, goes to Bogle. James either darts in behind or comes short, usually darts behind. Aronson drops in or Pro drops in, and there's that 45-degree ball on. We didn't see that once, right? Solomon in a bit of space. Didn't see that. Okay, so you've got to make sure Solomon has no space to get the ball, get 2 players around him. So Solomon has no space. Furpo overlapping. Make sure someone tracks him. Because Furpo's very good overlap, makes very good runs, very well timed runs. He's not a real great. He's a good athlete, but he's not got amazing pace.
We said, I'm so glad you said that, because where we were that first half, all of us were saying when it's South Stand, look at how much space there is on that left hand side. Furpo and Solomon, they had so much space at times. Yeah, depending either, we just needed somebody to play that diagonal ball over into them spaces, just to switch it quickly. Yeah. We didn't do it. We do it a lot, but we just didn't see. We didn't want to do it. Yeah, we did it. Yeah. But we did that first half. There was so much space on that left hand side.
It's funny. I could see that.
We didn't. As well. I was like, you probably could see it. The fact we didn't want to do it, we became really cautious.
But that's what teams that's what they can, can't they? When you're playing through one side of it, they shift their team around. You know, if you make the pitch wide, it's much harder to defend. But I say in the conception of the idea of how you stop a team like us playing 3-4 things, you're there. But you've actually then got to be able to manage it. You've got to be able to coach it, and you've got the players to do it. And what they've got, and West Brom had all those things, because otherwise every team would be able to stop us playing, because it's really simple. Is what you've got to do. There's only 3-4 things against most sides at this level in particular. But
what worried me though?
We're here long. We're never going to just go long to the big man up front who can knock it down. It doesn't happen.
No.
You know, it's about football. You say even that when it's open, you've got to take a risk of just ping the ball over. You know, it's not being perfect. You've got to try it 100%.
Just put it into them spaces. But what worried me most is how after we scored, we really took us foot off the game. You know, it's
happened a lot, Sean.
Did you see it yourselves? Because we were all saying it. We've really sort of stopped. Yeah. And it reminded me of times towards the back end of last season. That's the slight worry in my head now is, do we think we've already won it? Yeah. And I don't. This is why I said the Portsmouth game is massive for me. I don't want to see it. We need to be going till the last game of that season. We can't think for 1 second we've won this league or we've been promoted just yet. And we just felt like that a little bit in the stadium. Not in the stadium, but how we were playing that second half of that first half, that we just relaxed and we allowed them to come back onto us.
100%.
This is where the manager comes into, doesn't it? Suddenly, you bring Joseph in for Aronson next game. Everyone's like, our position's not really safe for the rest of the season. We've got to actually be on it.
Yeah, I agree. Because all of a sudden, lads, the 11 looks like the fixed 11, doesn't it? We've had this competition for places all season, which is still there, don't get me wrong. The last few months as that run sort of picked up the pace, 17 matches unbeaten. The bench had their chance against Millwall in Cup, hadn't really impacted many games off the bench other than Strauch and Rothwell. All of a sudden, you had a very established bench and a very established 11. and maybe that started to come into play. Whereas, like you say, maybe a little bit of a shake-up wouldn't be a bad thing, Adam, where someone's like, hold on a minute, I wasn't expecting that. Maybe in place under threat, because I ain't got no notes today. I'm sort of winging it, but what I will say is something I wanted to bring up today, lads, was complacency. We have seen it in the past, and even this season, though, Sean, I remember being at the Watford game at home, flew out the blocks. It's a game Ramazani got injured, 2-0 up within 10, 11 minutes. We won 2-1, and Watford were by far the best side I'd seen at Ellen Road at that point. Battered us for the next 80 minutes. We were clean on, and somehow, we got away with it there. It's happened a lot early in the season, definitely last season. I've seen Firpo get a lot of stick for his man of the match interview. A lot of West Brom fans saying it's egotistical. Leeds think they've already won it. I don't think he said anything too severe in that interview.
I haven't seen it.
No, he just basically said there were one team trying to win it. He was just quite forceful in his. He was annoyed. He was annoyed we hadn't won it, and that came across in the interview. I don't think there were much in it, but he got a bit of stick for it. Don't get me wrong. Who the Leeds think they are? They think they've won it and stuff already. People can write their own narrative. I don't really touch too much into what he said. He literally just said that there were only one team who were trying to win it, which I don't know if I totally agree. Maybe that last 15 minutes, maybe, but I don't. I mean, it could have, like you said, Adam, it could have easily gone the other way, that game. So I do think he was talking a load of waffle, but I think it's, you know what Firpo's like, he wears his heart on his sleeve, you know exactly how he is. We've seen it with Meslier mistake at Sunderland, didn't we? Early season, straight down to no bullshit, can't hide his emotions, so I don't mind it. But complacency, we've said all season, the only team that can beat Leeds United is Leeds United, and that's not even down. You know, you say that in terms of, if we don't turn up, it's not even that now. It's turning up and just not having right attitude. It's not a case of being slightly off it. It's mentality-wise now. Are they going to be switched on for 90 minutes? Do they think they've already won it? Because I do. They can't say it.
Don't we?
The media trained. They know they've got to be tight-lipped and be careful what they say. They train the robots these days of footballers out there. Very rare do you let your emotions out. But they'll go home, they'll speak to the mates on WhatsApp or even lads between us. They'll think. They'll know they're the best side in the league. They'll have said it in training now. We're better than all these. Of course they will. The men, it's what we say. We're with his mates. We chat about how happy we are, how things are going. They looked at media, but they'll have had discussions. We're best side in the league. Or he was shit, miles above anybody. Or what a great win that was. We should have battered them. No, they'll have these discussions. Of course they will. We've all played sport. If that starts creeping in,
it's hard not to get carried away.
Of course it's
and like
not,
you said,
mate,
the players are going to do that as well. But
of course,
you can't do. For me, we've got to keep the run going. Look, we're still unbeaten. We do feel a bit downbeat slightly because of what's happened previously. But if we drop points against West Brom and then drop points again at Portsmouth, all the hard work we did against Sunderland and Sheffield United is going to be in vain a little bit. So
great point.
You just want to carry on picking these points up and picking these wins up. We really do. And like you said, we just can't get to us heads. And I'm hoping Farke's learned from last season a little bit. Again, I talked about Ampadu, how much of an influence he is. I think we do miss him. He's still going to be in and around the team. Let's not forget that he is. But I'm just slightly in my head, what I saw Saturday, I have that little doubt where, is it going to creep in?
Do the lads think they're already there? Do the lads think they're already there?
I think they've already done it. Yeah. And I think I agree what you said. Maybe a slight little tweak to that team, like just such a no.
Just ruffle some.
Not going to get picked every week.
Just
a little tweak.
Like he just says there, Sean.
Up again.
I think we were predictable in this game. I assume in particular, Farke had unpredictable players on the bench, but I get the feeling Farke prefers system players who don't lose the ball.
Yeah, we were screaming for Nonto and Ramazani to come on.
What I'll say though, looking back at West Brom, we spoke about, didn't we, Adam? That I don't know what other plays he could really bring on in that game. And you look at it and you go, Joseph comes on, Aronson goes off. I get that. That's a sub I would have made. That's me and Callum were saying in stands. You then go, right, Solomon off. One winger off, Solomon's probably the one you take off, and rightly so. James has popped up with James has had a couple of games where he hasn't been 100% at it. 2 assists at last game, assisting this great, right? Take Solomon off, you bring on Nonto, that's fine. Is he right to take off James as well and bring Ramazani on? I mean, we've seen, haven't we, Adam, in games where we're 3 or 4 up, he rests them all, doesn't he? He takes both wingers off, brings both wingers on. I was seeing a point now where when it's a tight game, he's only going to bring one of them on. And at the minute, James is the one that will always stay on. Ramazani's probably one that isn't going to come on. It's just crazy to have a player of his quality who scored at the Burnabout. We know how good Ramazani is, and he can't get any minutes at all.
Yeah,
it's a madness. But I don't really bemoan his subs. Really, his subs have been great. I don't blame him for taking James off. That's the problem. You've got to take James off to bring Ramazani on. That's the issue.
Well, no, you'd say it were Nonto, wouldn't you? We said this last week. Nonto normally plays on that right.
But Nonto deserved, I would have said, the sub this week based on how he looked at Sheffield United.
Fair enough. But it was something we weren't expecting.
100%.
We were all expecting 100%. Ramazani to come on the left.
I agree.
And he hadn't. He's gone the other way. But obviously, he sees these players all week long, and he knows.
I think it's what Easy said there, though, isn't it? That you can make subs and change personnel. You go, but managers got to think a bit deeper than that, and they got to think a bit. There should be a tactical shift sometimes, and think. But the problem is, like, he used to do this thing, didn't he? Where he brought every forward on, and they would still play the same way. We wouldn't play direct. We wouldn't get crosses in. We'd still try and build up. We'd have no one to do the build up because everyone's up front, standing there waving, waiting for the ball.
Yeah.
So that was. I mean, that was awful. I'm glad he doesn't do that anymore because that was so poor. But then, what do you know? You just change a couple of personnel and think it's going to change, or what do? You take Snacker off and bring Ramazani on. But then still, so Ramazani, because like last team, when you bring 6 tackles on, prior to play centre midfield, then he kept dropping in to get the ball from the centre backs almost. It wasn't helping. So you've got to have in this situation. I think Easy's right. I think. What you've got to do is get in the second half and go, right, lads, take more risks. Give that, if you give it away. Because Fark, what every manager does want is transitions against them. Regardless of how many people you keep back on attacks, that's what kills teams. Teams break against you. Because you're not in any sort of setup as defensively. So that's what managers are really against. But he's got to press a button sometimes, goes, right, lads, whoever's on the pitch, because there's no point in changing formation particularly. Whoever's on the pitch, just take another risk, spread it. Tanaka, take more risks. Try more long balls, try more diagonals, whatever it may be. Get him. We need players. Solomon, get him 1-on-1. How do we get Solomon 1-on-1? We get the ball to him earlier in more space. Get the ball to him earlier. He's then in more space. He's then 1-on-1. It's really simple. But you've got to take that risk earlier. It's not about subs for me. It's not about personnel change really. It's about a slight tweak. It's actually overall where you take more risks and you do it earlier. Not in the last 10 minutes either. Do it earlier.
No. Yeah, 100%.
You can see the map out of the game. They would, by the way, as well. All that said, I don't think teams will set up as well against us for the rest of the season. I think West Brom are a really good side. Teams might get more joy against them playing more direct, etc. But actually, defensively, I think they'll set up really, really well. I think I agree. think that was a bit of an outlier.
I agree. Moving on to Skip's point here. Matty, maybe the excitement and euphoria of the Sunderland Sheffield United games took a lot mentally out of the side. Yeah, I also think that as well. 100%.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm massive on going, with that goal at Sheffield United, they'll be bouncing into West Brom game. But maybe it's been.
What did you say, Matty? 5-0?
Yeah, I looked an absolute tip, mate. I did. But you know what I mean? I'll stand by.
All right, mate.
I'll stand by if Leeds play to the capabilities, they'll do that to any side. But I didn't foresee.
I was saying
the drop off. If I'm honest, I didn't see
when we scored the goal, I was singing, "We want 7. We want 7." We were all thought it would. Here we go.
Goal, Sean. We always say getting
early goals. Did you think we'd score more? I thought we'd score more goals.
100%.
Than we did, and then we just eased off. And
the problem again, before this game, I said it to you, Matty. I think I might have said it to you, Sean. This is back to the grind of the championship now. This is the game where they actually need to, two games against top end teams, winning last minute, whatever. But this is back to the grind of the championship. This is the game where they've got to really be switched on and on it. And by the way, they may well have been. West Brom might have been really good. They might have set up really well. We've seen teams do it to Fark teams where they sit in and they can sit. And what West Brom did have is good players. He picked a lot of ball retention players. If they get the ball, they keep the ball. You press them, whatever. It's good on the ball. Swift's good on the ball. Johnson's really good on the ball. Really good. You don't just take it off these players. They're good at keeping it as well. So
like Rob says there,
they played really well.
Not many more teams have still got a player have a squad like West Brom, to be fair.
No, absolutely, Rob.
I dismissed them, but when you actually look at them, they are actually a really good side and probably good value for being in those playoff spots, which they've sort of upheld all season, haven't they, really? They're clinging on by the fingertips at the minute. I think they could even drop out there, even though they look really good, really tight in those positions. The gap from 4th to 5th is massive, but the gap from 5th to 12th is so tight, isn't it? They had to come really and go over point, and they still dropped a position. They still went from 5th to 6th after getting a point at Ellen Road. It shows how they're going to have a real struggle to try and hold on to those playoff places. But yes, let me get into a few of the starred comments just to go through some of these because we have got quite a lot building up. Yesterday was like the hangover of a great run. The lads may be tired emotionally and physically. I believe we will do it, but it's not going to be plain sailing, says Paul. Yeah, I agree, mate. It's not going to be plain sailing. The problem, like you said earlier, Sean, a lot of these games we've got to play. You either playing against people going for playoffs, which we've sort of done now, or you're going to be playing people who fight in relegation. That's sort of our lane till the end of the season. Priestley said yesterday, when you combine all the league positions of everyone we've got to play, it averages a side at 16th, which is quite worrying because these teams down the bottom end are going to be fighting 2-0 for every single ball, let alone every single point. So it's going to be a tough one. Yeah, Richard said earlier, I actually think the 3 games next week are the most important of the season. 2 difficult away trips. If we can take 9 points, then we are within touch of distance, but 7 will be good. Yeah, well, look at those 3 games coming up, 100%.
Can I just say, and not what Richard said as well, I meant to say it earlier, one of the biggest disappointments for me yesterday was we didn't try and manage, we didn't even talk to the referee. None of our players went and spoke to the referee at all.
No, they didn't.
They were like, Trout goes through, they're backing in, nudging him, and it's really hard once you're in the air. Someone does to you, and it's Trout go down, and the referee wasn't giving anything. They did it several times. No one went over and had a word. I was watching really closely.
Ampadu's good at that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what didn't happen against Sheffield United either. They were all in the referee's ear for the first until we started smashing them for the first however long. And that's a problem for me. That's something I am seeing. And actually, as far because leader needs to get into someone just speak to the referee. Really simple. Just speak to him, moan at him, go on at him. Rodon doesn't really do it, he just whines, doesn't he? But get Stroud, whoever. Rothwell, if you're in the team, Gruev, if you're in the team, whoever. Get into him, speak to him, manage the referees. Massive. Because they're not very good. They're not very good at their jobs at this level. They need help, and we can help them. We can help them make decisions for Leeds United. So that's what we should be doing.
100%. Sam, 100%, mate. Sam says, time we play Sunday, Sheffield United could be level on points with us, Burnley on the 2 behind us. So we've got to go down there and win. Yeah, that's a bad thing about playing late sometimes, isn't it? You know what you've got to do, granted, but the pressure could be turned up massively if they both win, which I've looked at their next 3 fixtures. Well, 4 for Burnley because
Sheffield got
some really favourable fixtures for me. Let me just get them back up. I looked at them earlier.
Preston. Sheffield's got Preston.
And in fact, if we were playing Preston, we go
Preston, Bristol City, and Sheffield Wednesday.
I know Sheffield Wednesday's a derby, but for me, I could see Sheffield United getting at least 7 points there, 7 and 9. I think it's a similar run to ours. I think we'll get 7 points on the next 3.
Burnley's got Cardiff, Luton, and then West Brom. So
West Brom's a tricky one, but I expect them to beat Cardiff and Luton, if I'm honest. I expect the next couple of games, both sides to get 6 points. Can we get 6 points being Portsmouth and is it Millwall for us? So that they're tricky games.
You'd expect us to get 6 points too, wouldn't you?
Millwall midweek, innit?
Yeah. It's amazing. Like,
Millwall midweek.
We're looking at their fixtures saying they're easy. They're looking at our fixtures saying they're easy.
Yeah, 100%. What we're going to say now. Emmett says if Joseph were injured for the rest of the season, we will not miss him. Oof. Harsh.
Harry Gray. In comes Harry Gray.
I love that. Sean's just put in the chat his link there, Wilco Whites. Please go give Sean a sub over at Wilco Whites and Callum, Passion for Leeds, LUFC Passion. Go check them out. So, Sean and Callum at Passion for Leeds. Please check them both out. Much appreciated.
Don't forget Paul as well, Paul for Leeds.
And Danny Rumsey. Yeah.
I haven't got Paul for Leeds.
He's TikTok. I'll have to get his TikTok on, to be fair.
He's got a couple. He does a bit on YouTube as well. I've been watching.
Yeah, he does a little bit. He does some ghost hunting on YouTube as well. He used to have them as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but moving on, where do you want to go first? Do you want to go to last week's player or do you want to go into a Portsmouth?
Are we doing Portsmouth now?
Do you not even want to touch on it as a preview? No. I'll tell you what, we won't do Portsmouth as a preview. We'll do that Friday. We'll touch on the next few games maybe as a whole and look at what we think we'll get in points total, plus go through some of the chats in that start. But we'll go into last week's poll winner, shall we, right now?
Yeah.
So everybody knows we've currently got a poll. I've seen some people saying I should have put Harvey in there as well. But the 3 of us just pick players we sort of think will spark a bit of conversation. We put goalkeepers in this week. We've got Martin Robinson, John Lukic and Sprake. Currently Martin's winning. To be fair, I think Martin would have won this regardless of who won in that poll. If I'm honest, I kind of felt it was going to be an ardent to beat. I know Harvey's, I've seen a few comments saying he should have been in there. That's fine. It creates talking points. But Martin's currently smashing that with 83%. Robinson on
83.
On
oh my God.
Sprake on none, which is wild. But yeah, like I say, that's probably playing out as I thought. But last week's winner was Lucas Radebe. What a player. And my good friend Adam has put a little piece together. So let's watch this.
Well, we're talking over it, aren't we?
We are. So you talk. Yeah. I'm just going to watch.
Do you want me to start?
I do, mate. I'm going to start playing it now and you just waffle on over it. I'm hoping. Let me make sure the volume's not quite full so we can have it there. Set there. Right. Let's go.
So Lucas Radebe started his career at Kaiser Chiefs, which we all know. Started as a goalkeeper before being converted to a defender. He then moved to England in 1994, signing for Leeds United for £250,000, along with Phil Masinga. He became a key player. Later made his being club captain. He led Leeds to a top 4 finish in the Premier League in 98-99. Also, UEFA Champions League semi-final in the year 2000 and 2001. Earned a lot of respect. He actually rejected a move to Manchester United. Also, he was then plagued by injuries later on in his years, but still remains a club icon. Internationally, he made 70 appearances for South Africa, playing in the first ever World Cup. 1998. Also played in the 2002 World Cup. He then led South Africa to win the 1996 African Cup of Nations. Career stats for Kaiser Chiefs: he played 113 times, scoring 5 goals. For Leeds United, 256 appearances, scoring 3 goals. Then there were the famous time he went in net against Manchester United. So imagine April 1996. I think we've shown it on there. Leeds v Man United at Old Trafford. Mark Beanie's actually in goal instead of the out of form John Lukic, who was actually dropped from the entire squad. So Radebe was on the bench.
I want to play it again while you're talking, mate.
Go on, play it again. Started his career obviously as a goalkeeper. Imagine Steve Bruce puts a through ball through on the 70th minute for Ashley Cole. Beanie's running out, collides with Andy Cole, but he also handles the ball outside the area. Referee's got to send him off.
Love that kid.
So then on comes Radebe. Radebe comes on. Throughout the game, he's pulled some excellent saves off from Ryan Giggs, Brian McClare, and even Andy Cole. But the 73rd minute came. Cantona, Fred Keane, who fired past the low shot past Radebe. 1-0 win. They ended up winning. To stay, they only won 1-0 in that game, and Leeds were down to 10 men for 70 minutes, was mainly down to Lucas Radebe. Then afterwards, we had the Fergie speaking to the media. He was questioning why the Leeds players can play so well against Man United, but not against any other teams. It's like a psychological game between him and Keegan, if we can all remember it. That then led for Keegan, who Leeds were playing Newcastle the week after, went on for his famous saying, I'll tell you all now, honestly, I'd love it if we beat love it.
I love that. Yeah.
So that's why fans across the country had Lucas Radebe to thank for Kevin Keegan's iconic moment. Retirement. So he retired in 2005, did Radebe. Obviously regarded as one of Leeds United's greatest captains. He's still an ambassador for South Africa. He was honoured by a testimonial in 2005, and Nelson Mandela once called him a true role model.
Nelson Mandela, jeez.
Absolute class.
By the way, so
great point, Sean. Class.
It's a couple of criminal parts of that in terms of the videos I found were him in goal and scoring. Like, he's a defender, he's a fast defender. And it's like, it's really hard to find videos of him actually defending. But like, what a player! By the way, the players he played against there, the strikers, like everyone was playing up front. Like we discussed the other day, mate, weren't we? Like Bergkamp, Zola, Hasselbeck. Like, he played some unbelievable.
The 9s he played against, mate. Wow.
There was so many. All these top teams had 2-class strikers back then as well. And he was never really found out. He was a fantastic man. Like, up against Zola. Zola was an unbelievably good footballer. Bergkamp. Like, it's ridiculous levels they had to make. Against Real Madrid. Can anyone tell me? Because I knew straight away. That's why I want to ask. the player he was against, Real Madrid player who he was up against in that video. There's a Real Madrid player in a black shirt, about two-thirds of the way through. Neither of you picked up on it, did you? Did you see him? Did you see who it was?
Who won it?
I can't. Well, see if everyone on chat knows. See if everyone on chat knows.
I didn't watch it. I was too busy. I was too busy.
Real Madrid strike. What Raul won it?
No.
What it? Real Madrid striker.
Wasn't necessarily a striker. Didn't say a striker.
Guti.
Yes, spot on, Richard.
There you go, Richard. Well done, mate.
Well done, Richard. I like that. Seen it.
He was a good player.
He was a good player. He was unbelievable.
When he tackled you. Yeah, no, well, that's it. We spoke it other day, didn't we? Not like these days where, don't get me wrong, there's some good players, but you've got like Danny Ings leading line as a solo striker for a defender to deal with. Back then, you had Cole and York, or you had Alan Shearer, you had Fowler and Owen. You just had some absolute quality.
Yeah,
lines,
just
you know.
Ian Wright and all that, yeah.
Henry he played against. He played against them all.
Yeah,
Henry.
By the way, he wasn't like Rio Ferdinand played for Leeds, and he got 1 yellow card all season because he didn't really make tackles. He'd stand off and sort of sweep stuff. He was very clever. Radebe right up against his man all game. He was, all legs, getting around people. Like he'd man mark people. He'd man mark them out of the game. Like if he got to Chelsea, he'd just be getting Zola all game.
Is he epitome of a captain as well? Isn't he? If you type in captain and looking at it in a dictionary, it should have Lucas Radebe as a wording for it, because he would just he just put everything in terms of a captain you'd want from a captain. He led by example. He was vocal, and I think someone put in chat here how much it cost us. 250k for our club captain, and Man United couldn't sign him due to loyalty. I mean, just that loyalty is lost in game these days. He loved Leeds United, and even when I say the bigger clubs, but the flashy clubs who were winning stuff came in, he weren't interested. Like some things, Leeds for some players, Leeds gets in your blood, and we've seen it with certain players. Your Vinnie Jones, Jermaine Beckford, didn't support Leeds growing up. They come to Leeds for a season or two, and they just are Leeds, and he's one of them.
Just get it, don't they?
Yeah, he just gets it away. It's just when it comes to a captain, I can't think of a better one, to be fair. Like he's absolutely the perfect captain you want, and he actually had really good quality on the ball. He could do both sides really well. He could bully strikers. He could get in behind them tight. He could give them time. He weren't slow really. He had a bit of pace. He could play with the ball. It was pretty much when you look at him an all rounder, and he was really really good. And then you had his leadership qualities and skill into that. He was class. I mean, I remember those European nights, and he was just such a good player. We had Woodgate around that time as well, but like when you look at just a leader, somebody who epitomises Leeds United. When I look back to the players I've seen in my lifetime, Radebe's right up there as an icon really for my time as a Leeds fan, and I don't think that's too much to say. I mean, he's the chief, and he's the chief. Yeah. And everything about it. I mean, look at the band Kaiser Chiefs.
I was just going to say that.
Signing from, like, it's just a legacy there. There's a legacy there that's continued outside football for the city of Leeds.
Also, Phil Masinga as well, who came, who signed at the same time. He I don't know if you know, he sadly passed away when he was 49.
Yeah, they both came from South Africa together, didn't they? I think they signed at the same time. Yeah,
they signed exactly at the same time. Well, it's on the reel. You can see them both stood next to Howard Wilkinson. Just sad that obviously Philip and Masinga. I mean, he wasn't the greatest of players for Leeds, but it was just sad he obviously lost his battle against cancer at the age of 49. So, let's remember him as well.
By the way, Woodgate, unbelievable centre back.
Oh, don't. Yeah, Woodgate. We need to do something about him.
The pace he had, just so underrated, like unbelievable. That doesn't surprise me. Let's say Ferdinand. Like, I mean, probably Spria. I remember I went to Chelsea. The game, do you remember the game that McPhail scored 2 goals against Chelsea away?
He was a talent. Yeah, I do.
He was really talented, wasn't he? Like, and I remember, like, so Hasselbank was playing for Chelsea, and I was really worried about Hasselbank. Radebe just back pocketed him. Like, he just up against him all game. He didn't get a sniff, the guy. Unbelievable. Like I say, if he was marking someone, you knew 90% you did have to worry about him because he was that good a defender. And I say it wasn't like he wasn't taking a risk. He'd be right up against someone. So when your defender's tight against you, you can spin him, you can pace. Like if you get away from, it's easy to get away from them. But he'd take risks all game as a defender.
Just heading ability, timing in the tackle. He read the game so well. Just absolutely.
And this is why Elan Meslier gets a bit of stick. a lot of stick because we've had centre halves like Radebe and past who can double up as a goalkeeper better than Mes can. So it's one of them. It's one of them. What can you do, lads? What can you do when Radebe's doing that? It's a great little story there, little photo tale there, isn't it? That he actually ended up in net, and it's just.
By the way, some of the kits in there as well, like that. You say that sky blue kit,
that sky blue
kits in there, beautiful. The team, that Champions League semi-final team, I think that's Deportivo. The team photo there.
Oh yeah,
like just the players around him and stuff like. Just class memories, brilliant time for the club.
No, 100%.
That's what we want back. Them nights.
Yeah,
it's a long way away, I think, mate. But
I know, mate.
Hopefully we get there.
That's the aim, isn't it? That's the aim.
Yeah, Digler says here we had some great defenders when Wilco won the league. You like these, Sean? Chris White, John Newsom, John McClelland. They were top notch. It's all your area, that pal.
Yeah, Fairclough were in there as
Digler,
well.
if you're not subscribed to Sean at Wilco White's, go check him out. He's massive on the Wilco era. I can't wait for us to be promoted in the season to sort of come to an end. I mean, content will be a little bit harder, but I know you've got a few things up your sleeve in terms of looking back at that Wilco era, aren't you? And because I want a bit of I don't know, a bit of a lesson in that era, to be fair, because it was just before my time. You know me, my first memories were really that David O'Leary era, so I remember Radebe and things like that. But the way signing in Wilco, obviously signing Radebe and stuff, I'd really like to know a lot more. I've seen some documentaries, don't get me wrong, but my good pal Sean won't tell me money. So I want you to a bit of content there explaining that era.
Yeah, no, I am. I've got some stuff, but it's going to be like say probably out of season when there's not a lot going on. I want to get all that put together. Thanks, Digler. I thought you would anyway, buddy, but yeah, much appreciated.
What Deportivo were beating the quarters, wasn't it? Because they were
quarterfinal Deportivo. Yeah,
they were Deportivo were the champions, weren't they? They actually won the Spanish league the season before, which was a bit of a weird one. So we knocked out the champions of Spain in the quarters and had Valencia, which should have been an easier game, I think. I
don't really remember Deportivo players. I remember a lot of Valencia players. Like there's some good footballers. Valencia, Baraka, Mendieta, like Ayala, Canizares, like class footballers. Like
Matthew, William, Armitage, West Brom fan here. But all my family are Leeds fans, so big up Chris White. Are you the West Brom fan? I've had a little bit of exchange with. He was telling me all his family's Leeds. I say exchange with. He was fine. He was really nice, but I backed us to win 5-0. So he's had his moment in Sunny. You know what I mean? He's had his moment.
Welcome, Matthew. Welcome.
Welcome. This is what I do.
What he does, Matthew. It's not personal, mate.
I double up as a Millwall hater too, and that'll slap me in the face a week on Wednesday, I'm sure.
No, listen, Matthew, I don't know if you've just jumped in, but we've actually been bigging up West Brom. I thought you played really well, and you definitely deserved something from Saturday's game, and you're doing well. And we like Tony Mowbray, don't we? We think he's a good manager as well, decent manager. So,
do you agree with Lee, Sean? Your first
I do. I do, Lee.
Honestly, when you look back at some of these players from Europe, like around that time, look at that Mendieta running midfield for Valencia. The guys Mendieta. He came at Middlesbrough in end, didn't he? He was playing at Middlesbrough back end of his career.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Everyone went Middlesbrough, didn't they? All the old
with Ravanelli, and
Janino, Emerson. Yeah, a lot of footballers.
It's mad when you look back. Premier League weren't nowhere near as talked about as it is now. I remember watching the Serie A on Sunday mornings. Go Lazio! Watching that on a Sunday morning. Italian league were class. La Liga had some absolute wills in.
Del Piero.
Honestly, mate.
Del Piero, Juve.
Yeah, some of these other leagues were head and shoulders above Premier League. Now it's the other way around. And
Gazette Football
class. So
that were my hangover cure for a Sunday.
Who were your favourite players in that? Who were your favourite players in Italy then? Was Del Piero?
Mine were Del Piero, Totti, and Batistuta. They were my favourite.
So you had David Platt, because that's where I started watching with David Platt, Gaza, Del Piero. Then you had were it Batistuta?
Yeah,
Batistuta. Played for Fiorentina.
Yeah.
I think me and Priestel were on about it. Yeah, really good.
Lilian Thuram. I don't know what I sang about him as a defender. He was just a beast.
Elegant.
Lilian
Thuram.
I don't know why I got attached to defenders, but he's just unbelievable. Batistuta, of course, just like long hair, just flowing around the pitch, just scoring goals.
Roberto Baggio. Remember Roberto Baggio?
George Weah.
What a player.
Jeez, George Weah.
It's just.
Oh,
And we used to just watch. You just sit there. It comes TV. You watch it. Have your Sunday roast or whatever, and just be able to sit there and watch these immense footballers
That one
on terrestrial TV.
Richardson. Yeah,
Like
James
what a time!
Richardson, yeah, 100%. Rui Costa, he was a good player as well.
Rui Costa.
I never thought he
Portuguese, wasn't
it? Yeah, Portuguese.
Rui Costa, Portuguese.
AC Milan. I never feel really.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this all night if we want. Italian football.
100% we could.
Back in there.
Andy Rose, but Matty, are you more annoyed you predicted a 5-0 mauling of WBA or the way we settled for a draw? Probably more annoyed that I predicted a 5-0 when we just not much to back it up other than Leeds are bloody brilliant. We'll smash everybody. Come on, Leeds. Maybe I need to be a little bit more do my homework a little
conservative.
Bit more. Yeah, because I knew how good Tony Mowbray is as a manager, and I respect him, but I didn't respect West Brom at all. I just thought we'd smash him. It was really just that was egotistical. That was taking it for granted. That's what we don't want Leeds United to do as players, in it. So yeah, I was guilty of that, and I look, Matthew there, the 5-0. Yeah, but I do stand by. If we play to our potential at home, Matthew, we tend to put 3 and 4 past people, or 5 isn't out of the realms of possibility in most weeks. But yeah, we're nowhere near.
I wonder what lot of West. What did Matthew think? Honestly, his prediction before the game.
Yeah,
what did he think?
What did you think, mate? I'm assuming you were buzzing with a point, and I'm assuming you don't think 5-0 whatever on the cards. But surely you wouldn't have been daft for thinking you could potentially lose that game. Do you know what I mean? By a goal or 2 at least. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know your thoughts. Pavel Nedved, says Richard. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Player.
Lazio. Yeah. Oh no, don't start. I could go on about.
I know we really could.
Didn't he play for a few teams in Italy, Nedved?
Yeah,
I'm sure I've seen him in Juventus, wasn't he?
Juventus as well. Juventus as well. Yeah.
Edgar Davids.
Totally agree, Duncan.
Those glasses.
Yeah.
Duncan Wilco definitely
totally
statue. Ravanelli. Oh, we're here all day, aren't we? Just keep going, let's keep going.
Ollie. Oh. Cannavaro, Nesta, Maldini. Maldini might be the top of the list for the footballer.
Maldini, yeah.
The ref not even getting. Yeah, I'll tell you that West Brom game, just to touch back on that, the ref with his cards were point. He definitely left his cards at home and didn't want to admit it. So he just made this point of just not carding anybody, didn't he?
But no one Leeds player went up and told him that. No one. They didn't go within 5 yards of him. None of them.
Bizarre. It
really
really
bizarre. Do you know what? That's really rubbish. That's really poor. Professional football side was so nice sometimes. Was so nice.
Yeah. No,
Bowyer wasn't nice.
no, you weren't. I think we'll end the poll. Shall I go and end the poll, and we can?
Yeah,
I think that poll is what it is. I think.
Paborski. Did he go to Paborski? Karol Paborski? Didn't he go to Man? Or did he go to Man United?
Yeah, he went Man United.
Yeah. Going to end the poll there anyway, because it was never going to be anything but that. I don't think.
Oh, Richard Hogan, Javier Zanetti.
Yeah.
Well, my favourite ever player was Zidane.
Keep him coming.
Zidane. Yeah, Zidane, unreal. So, Martin won with 83%. John Lukic got 10%. Robinson 6%, and Sprake 0%. I think if I'd put Harvey in there, it might have been a bit closer. Got 48 votes in that, and Martin with 83% is the unanimous winner. And I love talking about Nigel Martin next week because, yeah, really, really top goalkeeper.
I don't really know that much about Nigel Martin, I'll be honest.
Really?
So it's going to be interesting for me, this one.
Nah, he was top draw.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he was great.
And we got really lucky with time, to be fair, because obviously we'll go in next week, but obviously Paul Robinson came through as we were losing Martin. And Robinson looked, it was a really easy transition to Robinson because he was quality as well. He came straight in as a young keeper and looked the part instantly. So it made the transition of losing Martin to the next goalkeeper coming pretty easily and pretty seamless. But we'll touch on that. But that's no shot there. I expect when we put that together for him to win. I sort of wanted to do a goalkeeper. I want to speak about Nigel Martin because I really loved him. Sprake, Rob says Aina. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few people think that, mate. But he got 0%. Aina, I'm assuming you didn't back your boy.
The only one who voted for him.
Yeah, 100%. Zidane great with his head. He was great with his head, mate, in more ways than one. No Melier, says Rob Brookett. No, I thought about it, but I just thought there was just no point.
He dropped out the pole or something. There's some pun here, isn't there? Like, yeah, he 100%. Threw it in, I don't know, through the pole.
Mervyn Day. God, Mervyn Day.
Michael says, I watched Lukic today playing for Arsenal 84-85 on the Big Match TV show on ITV4. Digler says, apparently Sprake was amazing. He just made some high-profile mistakes. No bloke told me that. The book, he knows his stuff. Yeah,
I was saying with Lukic though, he had some mistakes in him, didn't he? Did John Lukic? Like we said, we give Millie a bit of a bashing, but all these top keepers, they did, I suppose, didn't they?
Yeah, no, they did. They did.
There you go, Aina. You can't complain then.
You can't. Martin came from Palace. Yeah, I know we're signing from Palace. I don't mind because
I think that's an English. Oh, we shouldn't talk about that. English record, I think, for a goalkeeper at a time. I believe.
I think it was
3.6.
I think it was. Yeah, he was on that Under the Cosh podcast as well. If you haven't watched it before we speak about it next week, watch that. I think it was a recent interview. Really good stuff.
I'll message him, see if he'll come on here next week.
Imagine hopefully one day we can do that. It'd be mint. I don't think
you could do that.
It'd be class.
I'll message Radebe, see if he do a message for the little video, but he didn't reply. I thought proper like plugging.
He's sat on his throne somewhere, mate, just being fed grapes and just.
Oh yeah, mate, he's royalty.
He's royalty,
he's
mate.
Absolute royalty. I say I went Joburg and just cut the posters, cut the massive billboards by the motorway. Lucas Radebe's face. No one's advertising or whatever, just his face, all you can see. It's about hair now. Best hair in football.
Yeah. Some absolute ballers want the back of the day. I say that like there ain't no ballers now, but they're not. I'm just all about retro and like nostalgia. Me, I love it. I love it. I love a retro top. I love the nostalgic old players, and we were lucky.
It's all system based now, isn't it? I said that you don't see step overs and stuff. Ginola, even like Sean Wright Phillips, Man City, King Clancy, like what players these were, like class, out and out,
unstructured football.
Yes,
what brilliant. Where now it's
do something.
It's robotic now, isn't it? It's all system based, systematic
and
football.
And that's why we love Ruter so much, because even Fart wants the system, but Ruter he went, I don't know, just go and do some stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay,
great that. Well, look at this. Andy's put Jack City has interviewed Nigel Martin. Wow.
Right, you need to get on to Jack. Get on to Jack Martin.
Wow. That's pretty good going, isn't it? No Shane Higgs. No, Shane Higgs. Fucking hell, man. Well, could be worse. We could have Onana from Man United. Very true. Very true. Some of these that I starred before we, the chat will keep popping off, but I starred quite a few earlier. Probably been mentioned, but are we missing Ampadu? Just briefly, what do you think? I mean, I think in games we struggle with a physicality, which West Brom were a physical side. In midfield, it's easy to look at and go midfielder, Ampadu, captain, physical player.
I'm just thinking captain. I think we might miss as captain. That's me worry now a little bit, and it's amazing, isn't it? We didn't think we would, but any team's going to miss the captain. So yeah, I think
quickly as well though against Sheffield United. Rev's really not very good in those high octane games. It passes him, but he's not really got that dynamicness of him to get around, to quickly get involved. He loves a bit of slower pace. He's very good at getting in position, but it takes him a split second longer, all those sorts of things. And I think so. We missed Ampadu against Sheffield United, definitely. And then on Saturday, you play a more attacking player. And occasionally, like Rothwell was edge of the box, I think it was. I can't remember what chance was in the second half. Tank and Rothwell both nearby, but no one's actually picking up a player. They're both roughly where they're supposed to be, but they're not going, there's the danger. Neither of them did it. And I think that's where Ampadu does that all game. And people just, like, I'm not saying I do, but it's just not, when he does it, you don't spot it because he's just doing it. And I always made that tackle because he's where he's supposed to be. And I think we massively miss him. That's why I've always said I play him that DM, I play him every single game. Just would.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you, Paul.
I think you're right there. Definitely.
What about this one? Superman fan says Gruev should start the next game. He is defending protector for Fairport if he goes forward within the next week and stay in the automatic. It's a bad one, isn't it? Because everyone was screaming for Rothwell to start. He was one of his better players, I think, yesterday. But on the flip side, I said to Callum at half time, I went, it's an hard one because you look back with hindsight all the time, you can sort of change your mind. If you would have said to me after 65 minutes we'd be 1-1 in that game, I'd have rather had Gruev play and bring Rothwell off the bench because he would have brought some impetus. But because he started, you end up there where you stick with Rothwell or you're bringing on a defensive-minded player to replace Rothwell.
You can't.
You can't. At that point, when he's backed Rothwell to start that game, unless we are winning 2 or 3-0, Gruev comes on to see game out. If it's a tight game, Rothwell has to remain in that side for the full game. Yeah. So in hindsight, I would have liked Gruev to start that game, and at 1-1, bring Rothwell on. We probably win game, as we've seen the last 2 weeks. But now it's a flip now, isn't it? So you go, maybe start Gruev, but away from home, will he do it? Potentially. I think we've all said, haven't we? I think
it's one of those, though, isn't it? I think we need to get away from this home, away. We've got to go team by team.
Yeah.
West Brom maybe at home still we maybe should have played somebody a bit more defensive minded, but that's by the by, because I wanted Rothwell to start, but
I agree, by the way.
It's going to be team by team, not whether we were home or away for me.
He started Gruev against Sunderland at home, didn't he? Because it was team by team then, absolutely. But then Gruev was so poor against Sheffield United because that was a high octane game. I say he looks out of his depth in those sort of games. He's not an athletic, get around the pitch quickly sort of player. But again, those Sheffield United games, we've had one of them this season. Really, there's not been a lot of those. It's that one game, and honest, it's the first half hour, and that's about it. So I agree. I think I would have started Rothwell. I think the right decision was Rothwell against West Brom. It was the right decision. I think. I think we're all happy beforehand, and I think even in hindsight, it was the right decision. I think they just set up so well, and I didn't see a lot of. I said there was a couple of instances where Tanaka and Rothwell weren't quite in the right position, but in general, like against teams, we should win. We're trying to win every single football game. So you've got to think of the positive. How do we do that? And of course, you've got to defend. You've got to keep clean sheets. So Grave will come into it. But you're right. It's not just about home and away. It's about teams. And Rothwell against West Brom is the right pick for me still.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. Has Daniel had a spat with Ramazani? I don't think so. I don't think there's no in that. I think it's just difficult at the minute. As wide men have been as potentially his best players by Tanaka this season, it's really difficult at the minute, I would say, to take Dan James off. We saw late in games recently, he's come up with the goods. Yeah, I sort of said to you, and I had him unless we're a couple of goals clear and he just changes to freshen things up and give people rest and other people minutes. I don't think you're going to see in a tight game. I don't think you're going to see him bring on Joseph, Nonto, and Ramazani like you've seen a triple sub or a double sub if it's a tight game. And what we've seen for these last 3 games have been tight games. So I don't think there's much in it. He's just fancied Nonto last couple. But we've also seen this season with he's fancied Ramazani, not Nonto. Yeah, I don't know.
Ramazani's proved, by the way, he's not a fantastic sub of just getting on and hitting the ground running straight away. And they were marking Solomon out of the game, so they were sitting deeper and deeper. They had 2 men against Solomon all the time. Ramazani wasn't going to make any difference coming on the left side. The only would have been the 10, but then he's just not going to do that, is he? So it's like anything, isn't it? If you sometimes you'll hit the ground run, sometimes you won't. Like anything, like any of us work. Sometimes we're on it, sometimes we're not. Not in work, in anything. And it's a risk when you've got 2 men against you anyway. I don't think it made any difference in this game.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I have to agree. I really don't. Ramazani's interesting one now, says Richard. Hasn't played since Sheffield Wednesday. It feels ages ago. Nonto was poor off the bench yesterday. Opportunity for Ramazani to maybe come on for Solomon Sunday. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't expect Ramazani to be going into 5, 6, 7 games and not playing. I do assume he's going to get minutes, hopefully, in this game. What are you going to say, Adam? Jump in.
I think Nonto made it easier. Nonto played more inside. So I was watching him. He was playing more inside than Solomon. He was going into the heavy traffic areas. Just stand on the touchline. Like, just go, but someone's got to tell him that. Manage to go, right, get on that touchline, stay there. I know, like, he can go side, sometimes Furp overlaps, whatever. That's what Solomon does all the time. But actually, in that instance, make the pitch as big as possible and put your player, the wide player, the one that might get in a bit of space, make it Nonto, the man that can actually beat. Because if it's Furp, it's fine, but he's not going to beat the fullback. You have to be playing. You have to play it past the fullback for him to get in. Whereas Nonto can actually beat the fullback. If you can't, so why he didn't come on and play Ramazani and Nonto, whoever come on should have played right on the touchline for the rest of that next 20 minutes, whatever. I would say 20. It's 12 minutes, wasn't it? It was hardly any time. But I say, like, they defended so well, it didn't really make any difference anyway. I think he could have given himself more chance, and he wasn't poor on the ball. He didn't make any mistakes, I don't think. Maybe a lax cross or whatever, but he just wasn't. He wasn't in the right position for me. Play wide, high and wide.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's a good question, that.
Yeah, we've got 3 games, 6 days. Would you take 7 points again? Yeah, I'm not one for taking anything usually other than full maximum points. But I would shake your hand on 7 out of these next 9. It's 6 games, 6 days, 3 games, 6 days. 2 away,
2 away, 1 at home. Yeah,
Pompey and QPR away.
You would stay that.
You would, and you'd like to think maybe.
I want to smash QPR up because we owe them for last season.
Yeah, we owe QPR, we owe Millwall for this season as well. There's a bit of biting both of them games, and Pompey away. They aren't too bad at home either. They've got a date which we'll go into on Friday. But yeah, you would buy that.
Not less than 7. Not less than 7. But yeah, you'd take that.
And if we get 7 lads by the end of those 3 games, we're 20 unbeaten then, aren't we? Which is brilliant. Yep. Massive statement of intent. Does Firpo sign a new contract if promoted? I'm not too sure. I don't think
I think he wants to go back to Spain.
Yeah, I do. I just think they're just keeping it quiet. They've already made the mind up. They've already had the discussion. They don't need a breakout yet. Upset the apple cart. all the conversations want to be about what's happening on the pitch and not off the pitch, so they'll just keep it quiet. But I think he'll go. And sometimes I said to Callum at game, Firpo looks brilliant, he does, but he stays at Leeds, we go up, we struggle, and he leaves at the end of next season or a couple of seasons down the line, or potentially win league this season, go up. Great time to move on. Sometimes you've got to pick the right moment to move on. We've seen with Bamford, Meslier, certain players stay too long. What a great time it would be to get promoted, win the league, with your pals, and then move on. He'll be held in good high regard. Everyone will remember Firpo for what he's done for Leeds his last 2 years. Forget what he was like in the Prem. Or we go up and he stays and he stinks out the division and he's gone from hero to zero. I don't know why I'd stay if I were Firpo, if I'm honest, unless his love for Leeds is undeniable.
Yeah,
I think he's improved. I think Dan James has improved. I think Farker's massive reason behind that. The level you come down to obviously improves you naturally. When you are a good player, you're going to find it easier at this level, obviously. But I do think having 2 years back to back, the continuity of playing well week in, week out, playing football week in, week out in a system that suits you, I think they would go up and look better than they did before. Will they look as good as they do now? I don't know. That's a question. But he's a better footballer now, isn't he, Firpo, than he was 2 years ago?
I think fullbacks have to be the most dynamic players in your team. They're the ones that have to get up and down more than anyone else. And I think that's where Firpo does lack in the Premiership. I think he's not. He gets found out a little bit pace-wise.
This is why I think we should go sign Leeds Davis back if Ipswich get relegated. I really like him.
I think I'll go Ben Davies. I think I'll go 2 or 3 experienced players like Ben Davies.
Yeah.
But I think Ben Davies might be the option, and I think then maybe a dynamic younger one that could be Leif Davies potentially.
I'd like to get him back. He's been linked with England call-up as well as Leif Davis, and he's he's got some good stats lads, on assists and stuff like that.
If Firpo goes, lads, we'll be looking at bringing in 2 left backs anyway.
Yeah, well, Ben Davies. Yeah,
true.
Ben Davies is an older one. Leif Davies is a younger one. Let him
but the problem with Leif Davies, they'll want 15 million, and you can probably go and get an equivalent of 10 million somewhere in Europe. That's the thing. I agree. Hopefully, the scouting setup's wider than just Daniel Farke picking his mates.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just speak on 3 of us. Does anyone of us 3 think we won't win the league? I think we'll win the league. About you 2?
Yeah, we'll win the league.
We'll win the league.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love that. No messing about. So that's pretty much it for the chat. I will just get into these last few that have been mentioned. So, Matty, are you playing the charity game at John Charles Centre? Matty, are you in? Matty, are you all in? So this is the question. So I'm in. Joe Blackburn, we've been speaking about it for a while. Joe Blackburn reached out to me maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, asked me if I'd want to be involved on the 20th of July, my birthday month, at the John Charles Centre of Sport. Leeds United creators will be assembling to play in the Leeds Creator Cup, a charity football event for prostate cancer UK, which is a great cause to prove that they can do it on the pitch. So yes, I am involved. I'm really excited about it. As you can imagine, I'm a big fan of a lot of the YouTube channels anyway. I'm just a fan like you guys, so I'm going to be a bit starstruck, I think. But yes, these 2 haven't been asked directly. We've sort of had a bit of conversation with him today, with Joe, and I do think hopefully they will be involved in some capacity. I'm
proud that you let ramble on this show. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not really.
But we will see. But yes, I am in, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. As you say, it's for a great cause, Prostate Cancer UK. It's
a great idea, by the way. Absolutely,
great idea. And credit to
Joe Blackburn. Joe.
Everything goes out to Joe Blackburn. He's massive driving force behind it. He's working tirelessly to get it all how he wants it. It's going to get live streamed on YouTube. There's going to be
sponsors as well. Get some sponsors, guys. Get some sponsors going if we can.
It's going to be absolutely class. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I mean, I've been waiting for it. I'll be honest with you. I've always been a big guy. I'm tall, but I've got a bit of weight on me. You know what I mean? But I can play football. I can play sport. I'm really sporty. But I've first time in my life for the last 12, 18 months, I've not given a shit about my weight, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It means I've been quite sensitive about it in the past. I'm not that arsed about it now, which is good. My confidence is at an all-time high for the last few years. As you know, I've been in dark places. I'm really, really happy at the minute. But this gives me a reason to get healthy. 20 weeks, I looked early, it's 20 weeks till kick off. So I'm going to try and get a couple of stone off. No, I'm not going to try, I'm going to get a couple of stone off. Gives me a reason to get healthy for summer, something to look forward to. So yeah, I might even start doing weight check-ins on my channel, just keep myself accountable. Today I'm only 25 stone, but no, I'm really looking forward to it.
I need to pull my Puma Kings out. I need to pull my Puma Kings out from Attic if I ever get a call up. I'll give him a good dusting down and a bit of a polish, just in case. But it's for the good cause, guys. Love it.
Yeah, 100%. Late Night Leeds.
Behave yourself, Rob. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Rob. Thanks so much. Big support at channel. Agreed, Rob. Thanks a lot as well. Massive, massive supporters of this channel, you two, and this show in particular. So it means a lot. Does that? We put a lot of effort into this, even though it doesn't look like it, because I went a little bit late. We really do. We speak every day, don't we? I mean, obviously, this is a show currently on my channel, but it's my favourite show to do. And I know, obviously, it's not on Sean's channel, but Sean's a massive part of this show. And I know Sean loves doing this show as well, even though it isn't on his channel. It's so with, obviously, we hadn't even touched on, we all met, didn't we, obviously, for the West Brom game. We did. I did a vlog. If you want to watch it, go back and have a look. But we all met I've met Sean a few times, but met Adam for the first time. And really good. Callum from LAFC Passion were there. My mate Priestley were there.
Yeah.
Just really good. I mean, the community as Leeds fans, I mean, you living where you live, Adam, different to me. I rub shoulders with Leeds fans every day. You don't, and you've got a couple of mates now in Leeds. You can see when you come to games. It's just a great community. The Leeds community, the YouTube community, everything. It's just a great place to be. And top at league, playing well, 17 games unbeaten, regardless of the little speed bump we hit yesterday. It's a great time at minute in it. Personally, in Leeds United, it's brilliant.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's your round next, Matty.
100%. I got away with one.
Didn't he, Adam? He got away with it, didn't he?
He didn't offer, did he, Sean? So that's all right about the drinks.
Callum you one, mate. He dropped it.
Throw on the floor.
He dropped it, didn't he? He dropped it.
Yeah, 100%. But no, we'll leave that, guys.
I was stood next to Melier then.
No one was even near him either. Went too far, didn't he? Just chucked it on the floor. What's happened there?
Well, it was his third pint, and I don't think he's a drinker. I think it was just sorry. Yeah, dropped it.
Oh, no.
But anyways, right. Get me in, says Paul. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, really excited for that game in July. Really excited to see how Leeds end the season. Really excited for Sunday. But we'll see how we go. But we will be back on Friday for Late Night Leeds.
Definitely.
I'll be back through the week for a preview before that at some point this week for the game against Portsmouth. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Please please subscribe. Please go over and check out Wilco Whites as well. I want to see him have a couple of subs off back of this. Please do. Sean will have some content going out this week. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much, Adam. No else to touch on, boys? No? Done?
No, by the way, I would say absolutely go subscribe to Sean. His previews, I put him in my pocket, listen on a dog walk. It's really informative. You will learn something. You learn something about the opposition. It's actually a brilliant thing to listen to. Fantastic.
Thanks, Adam. Cheers, guys.
It really is. Cheers, guys. Great panel. Love this late night Leeds, just the 6 a.m. start in the morning. That's it. Thanks, Thanks everyone. It means a lot. The comments saying you're really enjoying what we do. A little bits of different stuff we're putting. Adam making these little clips and stuff. It's a little bit different. This is something we'd want to watch, and we've sort of combined everything we enjoy and put it in a one show. So I'm glad it's hitting right. So thank you so much, and take care, everybody.
Bye.
See you all soon. Bye bye.
Cheers.